Hello, my name is Josiah Ballas. I'm part of the CIS 5 online class. I'm doing this on, I apologize, April 26th. I started on the 23rd. This is for the midterm project on the 10K race. I use three includes, which is the IO stream, CMath, and string. Obviously, we need the using namespace standard. Sorry if I speak a little quick. I record this like 5 times, and every time I record it, I'm always like 10 minutes over. I only need 10 minutes. So I use three functions here, and I use the first one is going to be the one that we learned in program 8a, which is the bool is valid. You'll see that in a second. And I have two voids, which is the void race and void meet. I like making things nice and neat, and so using voids are very useful for that, which I learned in the program 8 as well. And so I tried using we're going to start with the initiate main, of course, and I have one initiate, which is the choice. So I tried doing a display menu void, and when I tried that, and I put it here, and I put the function up here, and basically you could just copy and paste this. This was my display main, and it was not working. It would go straight to choice, unfortunately so. So I decided just to put it in the main, just call it how it is, and I start off with the obviously a nice, beautiful kind of opening, which is welcome to the 10K race menu, with a few end lines, and please choose the following options. And I have three options, which is the 10K race, the gymnastic meet, and the quit option. And it was listed in the midterm projects that the only way we were actually able to leave the program was from the quit, so I made sure to do that. So this is the if statement that I basically copied from program 8a that you listed, Professor. It was 1 through 5. I basically reorganized it, did a choice 1 through 3, and so basically stating that if the choice is not 1 through 3, it's going to lead to this: enter a valid choice between 1 through 3, and it's going to go back to the computer input of choice. So basically use this function for bool, which is it has to be a real number. It cannot be a negative or anything of the sort. And I listed the function up here. All right. So if it's not 1 through 3, it goes back. So we have a classic switch here, and the switch choice of 1 through 3, which is three voids that I created. One's going to be a void race, second one's going to be a void meet, and the third one going to be void and exit. Looks nice, looks neat. I like it like this. And so I'm very new to voids since I learned it program 8, and I just wanted to practice with it instead of putting it all in the initiate main. I wanted to try to practice with something more complex and getting used to it myself. And I know it's the midterm project, but good time to learn, right? So it took me a while to learn the void race. I did something very simple, very straightforward: string name 1, string name 2, string name 3, same thing for the double, time 1, time 2, time 3. Now, it's my fault completely, the fact that I could not learn how to do get line name or sin and then name 1, name 2, name 3, so I can get the full name. I tried so much, and every time I was doing it, it just kept saying that it was not working as a function. So I just resorted to just unfortunately sticking with the first name, as you can see here, the first name followed by the time in decimal format. That is how I did it. I understand I might lose points for that. I should know how to do that by now. So we have the first one, get line for the first name for the first runner. So name 1, time 1, right? So you get their name first, and then you get the time following right after. And then following that, same thing for the enter the first name and the time for the second runner, so name 2, time 2, and following same thing for the third runner. So we have the simple calculations of code here that basically puts these in order of time. So very simple. If time 1 beats time 2 and time 1 beats time 3, then obviously time 1 came in first place in both scenarios of the if and else statement coming up. So if time 2 beats time 3, time 2 obviously came in second place along with name 2, because name 2 is time 2. And so if time 2 did not beat time 3, right, that would be under the else statement, which means that would be name 3, and time 3 would actually beat name 2 and time 2, putting them in this order. I did the same exact thing here, which is time 2 basically got them in first place. In both scenarios, they would be in first place because time 2 beat time 1 and time 2 beat time 3. If time 1 beat time 3, then puts time 1 in second place. If time 2 did not beat time 3, that would put them in third place, and time 2 being in second place with the received a second place medal for the time being, and same thing, received a third place medal. And this is the scenario of time 3-1. That would be time 3. That would mean time 3 beat time 1 and time 3 beat time 2, putting time 3 in first place in both scenarios, as well as if time 2 beat time 1, that would make them in second place, but if time 2 did not beat time 1, that would put them in third place. And I would go back to main. This took me a while to learn. I kept using return. It was always stuck in my head. Understanding that the initiate main, to return back to that, you have to use the main function, and it just goes back to the case, well, I guess the entire scenario again. So that's my case for case 1. Works perfectly. I tried it out. So now we're under the void of meet or void meet function, which is this one right here. So let's go down to void meet. So same thing. String. I couldn't use the get line. This is only for the first place scenario. I make the score initially set at 0. I'll talk about that later. And the initiate number represents the number of gymnastics that are participating. So the computer input, the user is going to put in the number of representatives, and I set the number between 1 through 20 because that was asked in the midterm project. And basically saying if, or using an if-else statement, that if we do not use a number between 1 through 20, it's going to send out a computer output, basically listing, please enter between 1 through 20, and it will bring us back to this initial if statement, or I guess this statement would be more correct. Okay. All right, so we have a standard loop here that we learned in program 6. That's going to set the for all the gymnasts that you see in a second. So we have a string name for the gymnast's name, enter the name of the gymnast, and I have an A input for the computer name. A computer input name. So basically, you enter the number of gymnasts here, and I have a few floats here, which are the float for the judge scores. I have a float for the total score, which I initially put at 0. I have the minimum, which can be a score of 0, and the max, which can be a score of 10. All right, so this is very simple. We have 5 judges, 5 scores in total, right? So we're taking a total of 5 scores. So while true, here we go. Enter the score from the judge. This is going to be basically creates judges 1 through 5. So for the first one's going to be for every judge, it's going to add a number. So judge 1, judge 2, judge 3, judge 4, judge 5. Computer input, we input the scores of the judge's score. And this is very simple. We have an if-else statement, of course. Again, I like doing that. So score can only be between 0 to 10. That was initially inputted in the midterm project rules. Score must be between 0 to 10. All right, this is for the equation, which we'll see in a second. All this is for the equation. And going back to the if-else statement, correct? If it's not a number between 0 to 10, computer output, it's gonna bring you back to please enter between 0 to 10, and it should bring you back to the judge score of that score. All right, so we have the float average equals total score minus min minus max divided by 3. So I believe the professor stated in, if I go back here, where is it? It was under remember. Yeah, a contestant's final score is determined by dropping the highest score and lowest score, then averaging the 3 remaining scores. Following that, it would be the total score minus the max divided by 3. That's dropping it, and that is how you calculate the average. All right, computer output, gymnast name. So this is for each and every gymnast. You have their name, and you have their average by doing this by doing the calculations. All right, but now we're going to talk about the winner, right? Because that's the most important factor. This is specifically for the winner score. If their score average is higher, right? If their winner score is higher, then it's going to be the average of, you'll see in a second, and or if the score was going to equal the average, the winner score is going to equal the average, and the first place winner that's going to be their name. So computer output, the winner is, and then you have the first person's name. And then computer output, their score was, and then you have their average of the highest average. And we have a few end lines just to make it look neat. And we return back to the main because it was stated in the midterm project that the only way you can actually exit the program is by going through case 3, which is exit, which I create a program just to go back to return 0 and just exit the program. As simple as that. I made sure that each and every case scenario had a main ending going straight back to the initiate main. And that's my entire project.